Hey everyone, this is Mace1370, and today we are going to do an account review for Heisdarkness. Before we get into that though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, check the link in the video description below for my E7 Discord. We have a lot of great people talking about the game. Lastly, the guild that I'm in, Mirmello, is recruiting. We have top GVG rewards. We were top 100 last season, but we're super casual. We're just looking for people who want to have a good time and, improve at the game. So if you're interested in joining, you can shoot me a message over Discord or just post a link, a comment here on this YouTube video, and we'll get in touch. Okay, so Heisdarkness, really impressive player, got Legend last season, so I'm really excited to be able to review this account. You can see the Legend border there. He's super into dragon waifus, so you can see his suite of dragon characters here. He has Holiday Eufine, Luna, Fallen Cece, and Alencia. So I think the most important thing before we get into this is let's go into the pet house and see what moonlight pets we're dealing with. So he has this little dragon dog. I guess it's a dragon dog. I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but it has cool horns. Moonlight Codamine. That's pretty cool. I don't have that one. Here's another one I don't have. The guy with the little, crown and the cape. He's pretty cute also. And I know a lot of people like this guy, the Obsidian Lord. His little cape is also very awesome. I would like him. I have Mac and Cheese right now, who is pretty cute also, but I would not mind that guy. Another little crown here on Kirby. Cute name. Alright, so some nice ML pets. I approve. Flappy Owl as well here, getting skilled up. Okay, let's take a look at the characters. Okay, first up we have Sermia. Looks like she is built on full 90 gear. Pretty impressive attack there, 4,500. Some amount of HP and defense, 183. Also some amount of speed, maxed out crit chance and 261 crit damage. So a very usable Sermia. I imagine Darkness uses her for GVG. Let's see what. Yeah, lucky dice. So. The all-in EE to get the skill reset, so probably boosts her with like A-lots or something, and then nukes a target, gets the reset, nukes another target. Let's see here, on this weapon, that's a lot of crit chance. So 47, yeah, that's a lot of points, wow. Pretty nice. Nice sword. This helm is legit ridiculous. Perfect subs, and it looks like it rolled well. Speed set would have been better, but crit set is just fine for this. Let's see, what is this? 27, 37, 46, 60, 67 points. That's insane. Really great helm there. This is probably not super ideal for her. You probably don't need the effectiveness for what you're doing. The defense and health isn't horrible, but I guess ideally you'd probably want more. Either more HP defense, just basically getting rid of the effectiveness, and maybe more into crit damage. An attack neck, so actually a pretty impressive build, getting 100% crit chance and over 250% crit damage, with a non-crit damage neck. Looks like 29% crit damage, yeah, so this rolled well as well, geez, that's 30, 40, 60, 65 points on a neck, I mean, that's good. Here's another impressive piece, all percentage subs all the way down. That's like 32, 46, 53 plus 7, so 60 points on this ring. Wow. These boots are also really nice. They have the 3 perfect subs, attack, crit damage, crit chance, 39, so like 43-ish points or so. Unfortunately, it looks like a roll went into effect resistance there, but still, nice boots. I guess this chest is probably the one you're looking to upgrade. Overall, good Sermia though, on portrait, so yeah, probably just, using that for a GVG nuker. Next up we have Holiday Eufine, one of my favorite heroes. Looks like Darkness has done a slightly different build than I do. I really go for high attack and ignore crit chance and crit damage. He has some attack, he hasn't totally ignored it at 3091, but he's maxed out crit chance. Also puts some into crit damage as well. 202 speed is, I think, a very good speed for Holiday Eufine. You want her fast enough to be able to take a turn early, but you don't want her so fast that she is outspeeding slower Basars. So around 200 is, I think, probably the lowest end of where you would want her. I have mine at like 215 or so, and it is extremely rare for me to outspeed a Basar, so I think that, this is good. If she does outspeed the Basar, it's super awkward, because then you can't use your S3, or, you don't want to, at least. You want to save it to cleanse away his unbuffable and stuff, and then the enemy gets value out of Basar's S3, and it's not good for you. Pretty tanky as well, almost 16,000 HP and 1100 defense, and 84 effectiveness, which is a good amount. Champion's Trophy, so getting the stun, and I guess even more effectiveness from this, right? Another 24. So over 100 effectiveness. He'll be able to stun and, burn many units in the game. Even ones running some, ER, like 150 ER, he'll be able to stun them like half the time or so. Alright, taking a look at this weapon here, we have 4150, 54 points, so pretty decent weapon, plus a little more for flat health. Wow, lots of effectiveness on this helm, and it looks like it rolled pretty well. What is that, 24, 33, 68? 68 points? I mean, that's very good. Anything over 60 is good. 70 and above is, like very, very good. Let's see, also a lot of points and lots of effectiveness on this chest piece here, so that's 51, and then that's 62, 68, 70, 73. That's nuts. That is really good for an immunity chest. Interesting, a crit chance next, so that's where all the crit chance is coming from. Good rolls on this one as well. 30, like 42, like looks like almost 50 points or so. Very solid. Wow, this is an excellent ring for any sort of like HP scaling bruiser that has a debuff in their kit, so they can use this effectiveness. 36, 46, 50. Yeah, and that's a very solid neck. Or sorry, a ring. These boots are good as well. A little bit of flat health, but still rolled very high. 49, 53, 59, plus a little more for that, and that's on a right-sided item also. So overall, very impressive stats. I don't mind the idea really of going some crit chance and crit damage on her in lieu of attack. I bring mine into battles, and sometimes the opponent counterpicks an immunity buffer, and it's pretty awkward because the burns can't do anything when the opponent has immunity buff on. Alright, looking at Ken here, it looks like this is probably a world boss Ken. It's not really fully upgraded. Has some molas though. So we'll go ahead and skip the Ken. Fire Ravi though is plus 15, looks like full 90 gear, so this is a built Fire Ravi. Looks like on Sigur's Scythe for that sustain, and the Cleanse EE, which is I think a popular choice. I think some people like the other EE, the S3 one, but it probably comes down to playstyle. I think I have the Cleanse EE on mine, but I need to mola mine. So hard for me to really make a judgment before I get to try her out. 204 speed, so quite speedy. Good amount of attack. Good amount of crit damage here with 100% crit, so she'll do damage, plus very tanky. Almost 1600 HP and 1399 defense. So this is a scary Ravi. Very scary. Let's take a look at the gear. Wow, this is like legit an insane sword. What is that? That's 44 plus 16 is 60, 70, 75 points. This is like one of the best Hellraid swords I've ever seen. That sword is nuts. This helm is also really strong. 49, 58, yeah. Almost 70 points on that. This chest is, I guess, a little underwhelming. Actually pretty low overall for a 90 piece. 38, 46, plus looks like someone into flat health there, unfortunately, and it's been 90'd, so you're probably looking to replace this chest piece, I would imagine. Looking at your build, I think you probably built it with these 5 pieces and then needed a chest piece with a lot of crit damage, and then just picked one of your chests with the highest crit damage. So kind of crazy, actually, that you have these stats and so much room for improvement on this piece. If you could get a piece with this much crit damage that also rolled well on the rest of it, like, she would be even better, which is crazy. Another crit chance neck. This one also rolled very well. That's 40, 56 points plus a little more for the flat health. Let's see, an attack ring with tons of rolls, it looks like. That's 32, 40, 64. Yeah, 64 points on a right-sided piece is extremely good. Ooh, it looks like these boots are a little underwhelming, though. That's 36, and then some flat stuff. So you have room for improvement. Wow, on 2 pieces you could improve, the boots and the chest, and get even better. That's nuts. I'm really impressed with that Ravi. Okay, next up we have Adventurer Ross here, who is quite speedy at 250 speed. That is an impressive Adventurer Ross, and pretty tanky for this speed as well. Not much effectiveness, but you're, I think, using him more to get defense buff up on your team against, I would imagine, like Arbiter Vildreds and stuff like that. He can also like cut, I would imagine, in between a lot of Falconer Flurries and Remnant Violets. And if you can get that defense buff up, it kind of negates Flurry's defense break. So that's actually really impressive. Yeah, 250 is probably like the perfect speed for him, because a lot of Falconer Flurries are built at like 260, 260 plus, and a lot of Rylets are built at around 240, so you're going to sneak right in between them. So that's a really smart speed to put him at. Let's take a look at the gear. So kind of some random subs up here, but then 16 speed and 16 health. And it looks like a little bit more random stuff, but a little bit of health and defense along with 17 speed. When you're building characters at this speed, this is essentially how I do it, and I think how a lot of people, how you have to do it. It's so hard to get, gear with speed this high. You basically just take whatever other subs you can get. And so you're kind of cobbling together like, okay, I need high speed pieces with like some amount of health and defense on them. And that allows you to get this speed with, pretty decent tankiness. This is a nice chest, 16 speed with 14 health and defense. You don't really need the crit on him, but again, you're going for these high speed pieces, so you can't be too picky, I think. Defense main percentage, which is nice, with a 14 speed and some health also. Solid. Oh, this is actually a very strong ring. 16 speed on a speed set health percentage ring is like already good, and has some effectiveness, so that can work really well on like RAS or FCC or any tank with like a provoke or something like that. These boots could definitely be improved on, though. Like, you're really just getting 23% health and like some flat defense on these, so you actually have a ton of room for improvement on these boots. So he could get even more HP and defense at this speed, so room for improvement there. Running Rise of the Monarch, which is an interesting choice. I know a lot of people criticize this artifact because it can't put the barrier on the person wearing it. So if they focus that person, it's like very awkward. You get no benefit out of the artifact, but at this speed, I don't think you're going to be tanky enough to use Aureus, so you need to use something else. So Rise of the Monarch isn't a horrible choice. All right, not fallen Cecilia, probably. No, sorry about that. Just Cecilia. Wow, that is a tanky Cecilia. 27k HP, almost 1500 defense. Pretty decent speed too at 192. She's getting some crit damage and crit chance also on this build, so she'll be able to do a little bit of damage also. This is kind of what I want to start doing on some of my tanks that I don't really care about their effectiveness too much, is just getting some crit chance and crit damage where I can, as just kind of side rolls, that don't get rolled into, just to improve their damage a bit, and it can make a big difference when you plus 14 or 15 them, with Molas. They can actually hit pretty hard, and that can make a big difference when, you're trying to do chip damage to somebody like a Spectre Tenebria. FCC has a couple AoE abilities here, I think, and it can really make the difference and help you take her out. Alright, here's another, looks like a pretty decently rolled, let's see, what is that, 22, so 39, 48, 58, 60, yeah, to like 70-ish points on this sword, so really nice, getting a lot of crit chance there. How much went into attack? Yeah, so you dodged attack, that's nice. Let's see, this helm, 10 speed, some health and defense, and some crit damage. I guess probably ideally you'd want more HP and defense maybe, and ignoring the crit damage, but you might be going for a bit of that on this build, I guess. These immunity chests are always really solid. 39, 44, 44, 53, 62, 68, 71 points. Yeah, that's solid chest. Interesting neck. Very interesting, actually. So this is where a lot of your crit chance and crit damage are coming. So this is definitely, you know, an intentional build here. Getting more damage on the CC. I like it, yeah. Attack roll is kind of wasted, unfortunately, but you know, you'd want like defense or speed there, I guess. But 17 crit chance and 24 crit damage, pretty solid. Let's see, this ring. Very solid ring. You know, health with 9 speed, 22% defense, 22% crit chance, 44. That's 44 points there, so 53, 62. 69 points total. I mean, that's a lot on a ring. Anything over 50 on a right-sided piece is very usable. Anything over 60 is like really, really good. 70 is godly. Oh, and HP main boots, so that's where all the HP is coming from. And 16 speed with 16 defense. You know, like solid boots with some crit chance and flat defense. So yeah, I'm impressed. This is a really good CC build. Let's see, what EE do you have her on? The Dispel EE, and then Crown of Glory. So I think Darkness says he uses this CC against ML Taiwan to help, you know, prevent them from getting too many souls, so that ML Taiwan cannot cycle his Soul Burn S3, which is smart. And then CC also puts up immunity, you know, on your team. So very solid. Something you'll probably notice as we're going through these heroes is that Darkness does not have, you know, several of the really meta ML5s. So impressive that he's not only able to hit Legend last season, but has, you know, a really good win rate this season as well. Alright, Fire Charlotte. Looks like she is built, just not mulleted. I'm curious if you're going to mullet her next, or maybe wait and see what happens. People use her effectively. Looks like she's pretty well built. She's a little tanky here. This is kind of like what you see with warrior tankiness, you know, like a LQC or something, but she's a knight. I think effectively used as a warrior, really. Kind of weird that she's a knight. But almost 3,500 attack, a ton of crit damage. Holy cow. That is a lot of crit damage. And low crit because you're taking advantage of her, I think, ability to always crit if she's buffed or something like that. Yeah, so you're abusing the fact that you don't really have to build her with crit very much. So here again, she has, you know, a sword with a lot of points. What is that? 41, 51, 57, 60 plus. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, so probably just waiting to molar her. Lots of attack on this helm. 44, 50, 53, plus a little bit more for the defense here. So pretty good helm. Could be better though. The helm has room for improvement. Lots of points on this chest. Some really nice immunity gear on your account. 30, 50, 66. Solid. Very solid chest. Wow, this is a very solid neck as well. Crit damage. So that's like 32, 41, 50, 54, 55 points or so. Very solid. Yeah. Very good. Man, you get so many good rings. I'm so, like, I think the thing that's impressed me so far is, like, the quality of your right-sided pieces. They just have a lot of points. 29, 34, 54, 59, plus, yeah, so like 60 plus points again on this one. Pretty decent boot also. 39, 45, 50, yeah, 52, plus some flat defense, 52 points. So yeah, she's definitely built, ready to go. Probably just waiting on molas. I guess you also have Fire Ravi built, so I'm not sure what priority she is for you. Here's Lilius, another super speedy tank, 250, probably for the same reason you have Ras at 250. I think that's really the sweet spot. You know, you probably don't want him much faster. Decently tanky, with, you know, almost 18k hit points and over 1800 defense. Tons of effectiveness, 109, wow, for the provoke. Very interesting. Very interesting. My Lilius is on kind of a bruiser build. Kind of plus minus on it, to be honest. I think I'd probably prefer her to be on this build. I just don't have the speed gear for her right now. Looks like 12 speed on this piece. Some HP and crit. You have her on a hit set combo too. Okay, this is a pretty good helm. 9 speed with Some good percentages also. 16 speed on this one. Yeah, this one could probably be better, but, you know, it's hard to get better subs than that with 16 speed. 15 speed on a flat defense neck. So you see, you don't have to have, like, perfect right-sided pieces to get these stats. When you're going for this speed, you're really looking for these speed subs here. Another 16 speed ring. Nice. Darkness was complaining he didn't have speed gear, and look at all these fast characters. Unbelievable. 24 health, 18 effectiveness. Nice. So this is a very solid Lily. It's on Adamant Shield. I think that's a really good choice for her. You know, she's not tanky enough to hold an Aureus, so I think Adamant Shield is a great choice. I'm running Hellag Lance on mine. I might just switch her over to Aureus. I don't know. I think Hellag is probably better on the Bruiser build, though, to help her turn cycle and get more damage. It's a more aggressive build, obviously. Okay, Kron here, over 4k attack, almost 300% crit damage, 100% crit chance. This is a pretty standard Kron on Knife, and yeah, the S1 EE. So you probably use him on GVG defense, I would imagine. Draftable in RTA if you need him, maybe against Cleave or something like that. This Kron is almost identical to mine. I think we have like nearly identical crit damage, and like our attack is very close. I think I have like more defense and less HP and a little more speed, but very similar Krons. Good on GVG defense for sure, and rare cases in RTA, I think. Yeah, this is an impressive sword. 40, 50, 55, 60 points, and it's almost all on offensive stuff. Nice sword. You can see Kron's base speed, this is what I've talked about before, is so good. You probably don't have many speed subs on here, but speed set alone will get you, you know, a decent speed on him. 31 attack and 9 crit chance with 4 speed, and here's where some of your health is coming from. Lots of crit damage on this piece. This piece could definitely be better, though. You probably don't need this, you know, this health here. For Kron on GVG defense, I like pairing him with Fallen Cecilia, and so then I like to focus on defense because then it gives you more benefit from the barrier. But you just kind of have to use the gear you have. 30 crit damage is obviously very good, and a little bit of speed. Okay, another immunity crit damage neck with nice subs. Very impressive, like 32 points there, plus, yeah, 39 points, plus a little more for that flat. Very solid. And then you're getting some bonus defense also. Pretty decent ring. You know, it has the 3 subs, and it looks like it tragically rolled a bunch into flat defense. That's so sad, but definitely usable. And then, yeah, attack main boot, pretty standard stuff. 20 crit chance, though. That's high. So 30, 40, 46 points on offensive stuff here. Nice. Very solid Kron. I'm sure he does work. Surin looks like not built. Lidica, not built. Melissa looks like probably world boss gear, not molded. Researcher Carrot looks like some 90 gear, so maybe partially built. I don't know if you ever used her or not. I used her some. She's kind of been eclipsed by Holiday Eufine for me, in terms of like a character that can do damage via burns. Holiday Eufine just has a lot more utility in her kit. You have her pretty speedy, not very tanky. I feel like she would just die. Good effectiveness though. Take a look at this chest. Interesting. So getting a lot of your effectiveness there. And you have a plus 30 Etiquette Scepter. So that can be good with Carrot. You know, getting that skill reset and just spamming your S3, that can be strong. Okay, Tenebria. Plus 30 Abyssal Crown. Very scary. Let's take a look at the build here. 2500 attack, so she'll be able to do some damage there. Almost 1400 defense and 14k HP, so she's tanky. And then fast, 213, that's good. And an insane 202 effectiveness. So she just debuffs everything. Nothing is safe from this Tenebria. That's really scary. Let's see. This weapon, 43 effectiveness. Wow. And then 8 speed also. That's nuts. 28 effectiveness, 8 speed, and then some HP as well. More effectiveness, 19, and 15 speed. Whoa, this is a really good chest for any like either tank or debuffer. Very impressive chest. 30, 45, 54, 64, 73. Yep, 73 points. That's nuts. 41 effectiveness on this neck. Probably a little wasted into crit damage there, but still, 41% effectiveness is nice. Effectiveness ring with solid HP and defense here. Also some attack. Nice. Speed boots, 6% effectiveness in getting some defense there also. So these boots could actually be improved quite a bit. They really only have like 38-ish, maybe 40 points of stats. So the boots could definitely be better. So you could do even better than this. But very solid. Great Tenebria. Acades, this looks like a GVG Acades to me. Pretty standard, about 18k HP and 1600 defense, 183 speed, and nice ER. Using the ER EE and then a 15 rod, so probably used in GVG a lot. I'm sure does, good work for you. Pretty decent. It's annoying to have, for Soul Weavers trying to get decent swords for him, because they really only need these 3 subs on the sword, so you have to not only get them, but then you have to dodge that other one, so it's hard to get more than like 50 points on a Soul Weaver sword. Pretty solid here, but kind of went into effectiveness, unfortunately. Yeah, so this is looking very similar to my Acades, just kind of using leftover gear. Just looking for essentially right-sided pieces with the right main stat and 20 to 30 percentage points on the right side, and obviously going to be very, very usable in GVG. Acades does not need great gear to excel in her role. Tamarin, same deal here. PvE Tamarin, I imagine, 211 speed. Fairly tanky actually for Tamarin. She has really low base HP. Not much effectiveness, but depending on where you use her, you don't need it. On Potion Vial, that's like mine. You have a bunch of these Hellraid helmets. Yeah, Tamarin doesn't need crazy stuff to do really well. She does her job. Nice flat HP there for Tamarin. Yep, I'm sure she works. Lena here, probably a farmer. Oh, you didn't even give her a portrait. Poor Lena. Yeah, looks like leftover gear also. I'm curious, do you actually use her as a farmer? Are these stats enough to farm quickly? I've never actually built Lena. I had built up Vildred before she came out. Alright, Luna. Oh my, it's a rage set Luna. That's really funny. And really impressive stats for rage set. That's crazy. Look at that. That's like over 4k attack, over 300 crit damage, abusing the fact that she doesn't need much crit chance. But this is on rage set. That's nuts. Alright, she's got some health here. Man, if that was attack, that would have been insane. But still, a nice rage set weapon. Holy cow, look at this helm. Let's see. 30, 40, 45, 60, 62 points. Nice. Also pretty solid here, 12 speed. Getting some effectiveness on her. I guess you probably use her for Wyvern, I imagine. Are you building her to like one-shot Wyvern? She probably could with these stats. I've never actually looked into that. I think some people use Angelica to one-shot Wyvern though. That's what I've heard. Okay, this neck is actually crazy. Oh, and it's rage set. Could you imagine if this was like immunity or something? I mean, still great, but 15 speed, 16 attack, 11 crit chance, and 44 flat attack, so perfect subs, for an offensive neck. And it rolled well too. That's 30 points right there on speed alone. So 46, 57, like 63 plus, even more for the flat attack. Wow. That's one of the best rage set necks I've seen. Pretty good ring as well. On rage set, you're really looking for attack and crit damage. Crit chance is fine too, but I think a lot of people like to abuse rage set on heroes like this that don't need crit chance. You just want to do raw damage. Yeah, great rage set boots. Well, I'm glad you actually have a good rage set. I actually don't have one. I never get rage gear. Terranor Guard, probably for Wyvern, I would imagine. On Junkyard Dog, yeah. Oh, is that why you don't use Junkyard Dog on Holiday Eufine? Because you use TG for Wyvern? Possibly. So good effectiveness here. on some Unity and hit sets, it looks like. I'm sure he does his job. Nothing fancy, you basically just need him to take turns and put up defense break. Interesting neck, a lot of crit chance. So yeah, pretty standard PvE Terranor guard. I'm sure he works for you. Alright, here's Crow. Very similar to my Crow. 181 speed, so he's, you know, kind of slow, but it's Crow. He's usually built around this to 200, I think. Nice HP. You have more than I do. 26k. 1600 defense. Nice. And then 131 effect resist. Probably enough on immunity set. You know, the main thing is you just don't want him to get provoked by, like, FCC and stuff. You know, or stunned by Spectre Tenebria, and he needs to use his S3. Let's take a look at the gear here. And obviously with Crow, you want him to have a lot of HP so that his horse is effective. Lots of ER on this one. You can actually do better on this sword. Yeah, because he doesn't really need effectiveness so much. But yeah, that's 33, 42. Yeah, so you can definitely do better on the sword for sure. Very solid helm though. 38, 51, 59. So yeah, just about 60 points on the helm. That's good. Very nice chest. It has, you know, the mix, all the subs you want. 21, 37, 43, 59. Good, yeah, that's good. Pretty decent neck. I guess it... No, sorry, I was thinking this was a different stat. You could do better on the neck for sure. It looks like it went a lot into flat HP. Yeah, you just have really 18% ER and then 3 speed, so the neck could definitely be improved. But you can see, like, you don't need perfect gear to get, you know, good stats. This is a nice ring. 20 ER and 24 defense. So 44 points right there. Very solid. Plus a little more from the flat attack. Okay, these are a nice set of boots. These boots are very nice. 18 effect resistance, 19 health, 22 defense. So that's 30, 40, 59 points. Wow. Those are nice boots. Man, I'm jelly of those boots. Alexa looks like probably Wyvern again on Rage Set. Wow, you have a couple people on Rage Set. Kind of low crit damage though. I'm curious if you actually use her or if this is just kind of filler gear. None of it's 90, so it may just be filler. Karen not used. Kise not used, but has the Molas. Cerise Moled and Guiding Light, so you're ready for the buff in a couple weeks. Okay, here's Seasidebologna. Darkness has a very interesting Seasidebologna build. He has her on Bloodstone, it's maxed out, for a little bit of sustain there. She's actually not that tanky though, only 14,500 HP and 1100 defense, almost 1200. 37 attack is decent though. 100% crit chance, 242 crit damage, and she has some effectiveness, no imprints. Most people put her on Drink, but Bloodstone is used occasionally. Looks kind of like a pomegranate, doesn't it? I guess it's blood. Anyways, so let's take a look here. Alright, decent sword. Yeah. Good for her. Could probably do better on this helm, though. What is that? 30, 40, 46. So, yeah, not even 60 points on the helm. Helm could be better. Lots of crit damage. Yeah, you have her on actually a fair bit of crit damage, actually. Another crit chance neck. You do like the crit chance necks. They are good if you can fit them into the build, like I said earlier. This ring is impressive, though. Ton of effectiveness. 20, so 36. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of points. Is that like 68 points or so? Actually, maybe even more, like 70 plus points. Very good ring. And then very solid stats here as well. You have her built actually a little speedy too. I guess maybe that helps with the Bloodstone to help keep her healed up. I'm curious what you think of her tankiness. I feel like mine would just die if I had her at this level. But I guess maybe the Bloodstone helps her live. Okay, Dizzy. So this Dizzy's on counter set and is insanely tanky. A very interesting build. And actually, to be honest, I wouldn't mind a Dizzy for RTA at this speed. You have her on plus 30 Violin, so she's going to strip. Excuse me. But having her this tanky, I think, is going to be a huge boon in a lot of scenarios. It's going to really disincentivize them from attacking her. And having her at this speed means that if the opponent doesn't have an immunity buffer, they will probably have lost immunity by the time that she goes. My Dizzy is counter and she's around 200 speed, and oftentimes when she takes her turn, everyone has immunity, and it's very awkward, so I just have to S1 and then cycle back around. So I could see this build being nice because it's going to let you set up those debuffs on her first turn if they can't put up immunity again. The downside, I think, is that she's not going to turn cycle very fast. So I think if your like buffs don't land, or if the enemy team is fast, then they're going to cycle out of the debuffs potentially, and you might have trouble keeping them up. I'd be curious what your experience is at that speed, but good effectiveness also. Pretty nice there. This is a good helm for her. 46, 51, yeah, almost 60 points. That's a decent helm. This is a nice, very nice chess piece for her. 30, 55, yeah, 69 points. That's solid. When you have her on hit set too, she's that slow. Actually, I just noticed that, and doesn't have immunity. Interesting. I think I would want to put her on immunity if she was that slow. Because then she could potentially get stunned or something, and being that slow, she's going to be like locked down for a while. And then you're going to have to wait even longer before you can put the debuffs up. But obviously nice, these are very good stats for her on that neck. And looks like you're the only player that managed to dodge effect resistance on this arena ring. Interesting build. Yeah, I'd be curious what you think about not having her on immunity. Okay, Angelic Montmorancy. Very good RTA hero against debuffers, and you have her with the requisite nearly 250 effect resistance, so that's solid. She's also, decently tanky as well. 1650 defense and 15,500 HP. 187 speed is, I think, an okay amount of speed for her. Obviously, you want your healers faster so they can turn cycle, but 187 is fine for Momo. And you have her on Rod. I've kind of like interchanged Rod and Tome on her. I haven't really come down. I feel like Rod might be better. Tons of ER on this weapon. Very nice. This is kind of like what you need for Momo, yeah. These pieces with like really high effect resistance. This has actually a pretty good amount of speed. 32, 45, 52. So, I mean, could be better on that, but... Ooh, interesting. I feel like this is something you might throw on like DJ Bassar. With the flat health and all that ER. But, it probably works on her too. Kind of some wasted stuff into effectiveness, but nothing's perfect. Decent ring. Looks like it unfortunately all rolled into flat defense. Man, you had the perfect subs though. This was probably heartbreaking to roll. I probably would have quit for the day if that happened to me. Alright, and pretty decent boots here on ER set. Actually, I have a very similar pair. Awkward that they don't have effect resistance. If they did, you'd get her over 250. So that's another area that you could upgrade. Angie looks like probably just PvE. Alright, here we have Diane. Looks like Diane has very good stats. 234 speed. That's nice. You want to have her fast enough to be able to put her debuffs up, her buffs up before things like Arbiter Vildred can go. So 234 speed is, right around that point. There are people that have RBs faster than this, but they're not many, and it's hard to get them that much faster and still do damage. Very good defense, and decent HP for her. Her base HP is garbage, so hard to get higher. I would like to see more effect resistance on her. She's on immunity set, which is, you know, helps, but let's take a look at the gear. Wow, that's a lot of speed. 30, 49, 57, yeah. Pretty decent sword for a Soul Weaver. Decent helm as well. Unfortunately, you got that crit damage roll. Could have been defense, I guess. This is a good chest. Very good chest. Man, if that was HP percent, it would have been so much better. Yeah, this is probably suboptimal for her. I mean, you have some ER and speed here, but looks like you rolled into crit damage and then you rolled a couple times into defense. Getting these like right-sided pieces for Soul Weavers, I feel cursed. I don't know, I can never get them. I like the speed on this ring though, so here's where all our defense is coming from. A flat defense up here and then this defense ring. It's actually pretty impressive you got her to that HP now that I'm looking at this without an HP ring. And actually impressive you got her to this ER without an ER ring. Yeah, you have a lot of like these really high ER rolls. It's nice. Yeah, another really good immunity boot. You got the 3 perfect subs. You dodged the, you know, the one other one. And it rolled decently too. 37, 47, 50, like 6 or something. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, here's Elena. Oh, and sorry, for Dione, you have her on Rod, which is, I think, the optimal choice for Dione. Elena, probably using her as an anti-Flitica cleaver. She's on good speed, so with Tome, you know, she'll push up and can probably cut, you know, a lot of people. I think I'd probably want to put her a little faster if you could. And you have her on a lot of effect resistance here. I wonder, do you use her outside of countering Flitica? Because for mine, I pretty much only use her for that. And I just ignore effect resistance entirely because I assume Fliticas are going to, you know, be able to cut through like this amount of ER, and I just want her fast, basically. But still good Elena, though. Will still work as the Flitica counter. I'm curious if you use her elsewhere, though. I tried using her against ML Crow. Maybe I would have to build mine differently to do that. It didn't really work out so well. My thought was every time he S3'd, I'd be able to use Elena's passive to heal it back up a bit, but it just didn't seem to work out. Okay, here we have Valencia. This is an impressive Valencia. That's really nice HP for this speed. I've sped mine up to around this speed as well. Decent defense as well. 23k HP though is good. Very good for this speed. Almost 100% crit chance. Solid crit damage as well. I think the crit damage could be higher, but it's fine. Excellent weapon for her. Perfect subs. Yeah, this is exactly what you want for Valencia. Very nice. A little bit of wasted attack here. So this could be either like speed or defense. This, you know, chest piece is always perfect for her. This one looks like it rolled pretty well. Let's take a look at this. Ooh, this neck is a little bit of a tragedy. Looks like you got at least 1 or 2 rolls there into flat attack, which for Valencia is not super useful. Yeah, you can see your flat attack is, or your attack here is a little high. But, you know, good speed and good health rolls with crit chance. So that's 28, 40, I guess, yeah, pretty decent neck, 52 points or so. This ring is okay. It's like 35 points. So the ring could be better. Yeah, the ring on the helm could be improved. Decent boots. Looks like you're at 24, 30 points. Yeah, so the boots could also be improved as well. So you have room for improvement on this Valencia. I think if you could get more into crit damage, that would be good. But you have Iron Draco plate too. But yeah, definitely a good Valencia, very usable. Purges, probably World Boss gear. Oh, interesting. Eufine here's actually built. I would assume you use her for GVG also. Curious if you use her for RTA as well. But pretty standard, you know, like 4k attack, good amount of crit damage, 100% crit chance. I assume you like a lots of booster, you know, to kill Seasidebologna and Charles and stuff like that. Pretty good neck. I would have been a little salty that this all went into defense here, given that I had... Oh my goodness, I just noticed. Whoa. Is that a 20 speed neck? I saw 20 and I was thinking this was a flat stat. Holy cow. Whoa. Alright, what is that? 40, 58, 66, 72, 75? Jeez. That neck is nuts. I've never seen so many like 70, plus point pieces. Your account is #blessed. Pretty good sword as well. Looks like she has some effectiveness on her for that S2. Wow. What, you're using, the double slash one, so you probably use her for Guild Wars. This neck, though. Yikes. Alright, Garmin. Looks like Garmin is on a pretty standard GVG leftover build. Charles. You have Charles on counter set here. So he's on a slow counter build with 16k HP and 1200 defense. So I think he's really good on counter, obviously. And he's fine super slow counter. But I think you're kind of lacking damage here. Especially since you're not, you're a little tanky, but you're not that tanky. Let's take a look at these pieces. Yeah, there's a lot into effectiveness, which he doesn't really need. Oh, that's where some of your stats are going. 51 effectiveness. Yeah, I feel like that would be better. More effectiveness here. Better spent on, either more crit damage or, better stats. Tanky stats. Yeah, you have a lot of effectiveness. That's what's happening. It's nice when he strips things, but, realistically... he's going to strip most DPS anyways. So I don't think it's super necessary on him. But Charles is good on counter. And it looks like, you have Elbrus on him and, the Smash EE. So you probably use him in GVG, I assume. Alright, Falconer Flurry, the bane of bruiser teams everywhere. Nice speed, 259. Very good effectiveness, 164, and reasonably tanky. On Helag, I think Helag's a good choice for her. I'd be curious what you think of Helag versus Justice for All. I think they're both good, but I feel like she sometimes gets focused. I'm not sure, how often Helag is going to be triggering. 15 speed there with some HP is nice. This is just a nice thick piece, with a lot of effectiveness. This one could be better. It's only 57 points. Here's a very good chest. Another one with perfect subs. 19, 25, 38, 51, 64 points or so. Very solid chest with perfect subs. Another 20 speed neck. Yowza. With some effectiveness to boot. Man, if this attack roll went here, yikes. Oh my goodness. This ring. I just want to pause on this ring for a moment. I'm actually seeing what I think I'm seeing. So it's a speed set ring with effectiveness main and 24 speed. So that right there is just this is one of the best items you can get in the game, essentially. It enables so many characters. And then on top of that, you also got a base defense roll that you didn't even roll into, but it rolled high. Looks like it went once into crit chance here, and it max rolled both times. So this ring is just legit insane. 48, 58, 65, 70, 75 points. Did I do that right? 48, 58. Yep, 75. Wow. Wow. And on top of that, the fact that it has crit here is nuts, because this could be put on something like Athletica. That ring is just, this might be the best item I've seen. That Hellraid sword was pretty good too, but that ring, jeez. Alright, another boot with 3 perfect subs, but unfortunately it went into effectiveness here. I mean, this is still good though, these 3, you want these 3 as well, actually, for tanks, so this is good, yeah. Very nice Flurry. Very good effectiveness with that speed and this tankiness. I approve. I think my Flurry is very similar to this. We have very similar tankiness. I think I have 4 or 5 more speed than you do, but 20 or 30% less effectiveness. So very similar flurries. She performs very well. Looks like this Vilder's on free gear, so we can skip him. Looks like another world boss character on the green violet. Looks like you wasted molas on yours like I did. I was so pumped when I got him. And then like I molled him all the way and he does nothing. Oh, let's see, this Bologna is actually geared. That's interesting. She's on Rosa Hargana with the effectiveness and dispels 1 buff from all enemies when using Butterfly Fan, so the dispel one. Let's see, I'm not super familiar with how to build Bologna. I actually have never pulled her. I don't think I have a single copy. It looks like you have her built with a little bit of HP. You've ignored defense. You have some speed on her, and then you've gone crit, chance, crit damage, and some attack. Interesting. How do you use this Bologna? Like, what do you use her for? Maybe Banshee or something like that? But you've $90 gear. I'd be curious if you use her in GVG or RTA or something. Okay, here's a nice Seria. Looks like kind of filler gear. 220 speed, probably for PvE, I would imagine. Yeah, because she's not mullet either. So probably a PvE Iceria. Okay, here's Bassar. So this is what I was talking about, the slow Bassars. So 200 speed, super tanky, high effectiveness. This is the type of hero that you don't want your holiday Eufine to outspeed. Usually the slower Bassars I see are around 220 to 230. You've slowed him down even more. So you probably use them in RTA, to good effect against teams that have like Dione and other buff heroes like that. Yeah, this is a very solid Bassar though. Ooh, lots of attack on forward. Oh, you actually have 2600 attack. Wow, so he does some damage too. Nice. Yeah, lots of effectiveness on that helm. Yeah, really high effectiveness rolls. And not a lot of speed rolls either, but you only have him at 200, so very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious at 200 speed how he turn cycles for you. I imagine he does his job just fine. I think my slow Bassar is at like 230 or so. Interesting. But yeah, good Bassar. All right, here's Vivian on Dignisorb and the CR boosting one on her S3 for the EE. Very impressive Vivian. 230 speed on immunity. I think you can't really run her slower than this, so you need to have her on immunity, and if you get her like 240, I think, 250, then you could probably drop immunity, but at this speed, immunity is definitely the right choice. Over 4k attack, so that's really going to help with the Dignisorb. Give her that good barrier. Decent, defense. Obviously, she's a mage, so she'll be squishy. And then nice crit chance and crit damage. Very impressive Vivian. Very nice helm. Wow. 31, 54, 59, like 66 points or so on that helm. Nice. 16 speed, very solid with really good subs. That's a nice chest. And again, I'm looking at this neck and I'm thinking this is a pretty crappy neck because I'm seeing this number as a flat number, but turns out it's speed. So another 20 plus speed neck, 23 speed, absolutely insane. Attack neck, very interesting. Wow, so you probably have, do you have imprints on her? No imprints, what the heck? How are you getting, where's all your crit coming from? That is 15 crit. Is it on these pieces? 14 crit's good. Yeah, that's a solid ring. Okay, 19 crit. Yeah. Wow. Very impressive Vivian. I like it. And plus 15 too. Alright, here's Rowana. Rowana is a nice hero because, she counters SSB so well. Stella Harpa is absolutely the correct choice for her in my opinion. It helps, knock off some of those debuffs that SSB will put on your team. And the nice thing about Rowana is that you can put her on free gear, on crap gear. She can be slow as a rock. She just has to live. So you just need her tanky, really. You have her with the effector resistance also. I have some on her as well. And I've kind of thought, like, do I even really need it? Like, I don't care if she gets stunned or anything like that. I mean, I guess it is nice because it might prevent somebody with low effectiveness that has a strip like Alencia from stripping her, so that you can get your S3 off. But yeah, 21k HP and almost 1600 defense, she'll do her job for sure. Some of this is free gear, but it absolutely does the job. And it looks like you have the S2 fully mulled, so this will be an SSB counter for sure. Alright, Free Spirit Tieria. It looks like you've actually leveled up her equipment, or her artifact. Are you using her as a farmer? She has gear on. Interesting. Alright, here's Purgus, probably a Wyvern Purgus. Oh, interesting. You have the increased defense one. I have the one that increases the CR push. I assume you use this Purgus for a Wyvern. He can be used in RTA sometimes to like counter Flitica, but I feel like he's more of a PvE unit. Alright, Judge Kise. Holy cow. This is a good Judge Kise, a very good Judge Kise. Her attack is low, her base attack is low, so getting her above 4k attack is a challenge. And then on top of that, you also have her at 100% crit and 302% crit damage. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm really curious how you're getting her. It's 24 attack is a lot of attack there. Crit damage neck, 16. Ah, flat attack ring, interesting. Does flat attack actually give her more than attack percentage? I don't think she's one of those characters. I think it's close. But this has a ton of attack down here. So that's, I guess, actually a good way to do it. That's really smart. Because if this is almost equivalent to, the 65% attack, then you can really high roll an attack down here and get her way more attack on a ring than you could otherwise. So that's actually big brain. Flat attack boots, and you did the same thing down here. Very interesting. I'm going to take note of that. Huh. So that's a very useful tip. I learned something. A way to get a Judge Kise built. Look for these right-sided items with flat attack main and attack percentage down here, and maybe treat them like a speed item, where you just +3 or +6 them and see if they go into attack, and just try to get those items that are like, with a little bit of crit chance or something. And very interesting. Yeah, I like that Judge Kise a lot. Very good. I'm sure she helps you around arena rush time. Okay, finally into the Moonlights. I guess Judge Kise was a Moonlight too. Little Queen Charlotte. Very solid build, 184 speed, good speed on her. Plus her Durandal-like passive is going to help her turn cycle. Decently tanky as well, almost 14k HP and almost 1300 defense. 3900 attack, solid amount of attack, and some nice crit chance and crit damage. I have mine on Sigurd's Scythe, you have yours on Portrait. I haven't actually had the opportunity to use mine very much because of Rylet, he just one-shots her. But yours is really set up well for when the buff comes, because the splash damage that they're adding on her S3 is going to scale off attack. So yeah, and you have a nice attack here. So very good, Little Queen Charlotte. Very impressive Hellraid chest. An absolutely insane crit damage neck on crit set. I wish mine would roll like this, just like really high crit chance and attack. And some flat attack there too. Really nice. Good ring for her also. Nice. These boots could be improved, obviously. Looks like they went to some flat defense, but yeah, still good boots though. I'm curious what you think of her not having 100% crit chance. I feel like I would cry if she didn't crit, but maybe if you're really drafting her into dark units, you don't need 100%. All right, Crimson Armin. Looking probably like a GVG Crimson Armin. Oh, actually, I think you've mentioned to me that you use her sometimes against debuff comps because she has this effect resistance imprint. So you can cheese a little bit more effect resistance onto your healers like Amomo that way. Otherwise, though, decently tanky with, good speed. I'm sure she does her job. Haven't really 90'd her gear yet, but despite that, still decent stats. F Maya. Okay, F Maya's plus 13 actually, wow. Have her, 2k defense, almost 1700 HP. Okay speed, so she will take some turns. Nice crit damage here with the crit chance. So this is a nice bruiser F Maya. You have her on Noble Oath. I'm curious if you draft her in RTA at all. I tend to only really use mine in GVG. I don't have her mullet though. If I had her mullet, maybe I would take her into RTA more often. Alright, Last Rider Crow. Here is an impressive Last Rider Crow. On Portrait, which is a common choice. 246 speed, so that is a speedy Crow. 23k HP, 1500 defense. So he's going to do good damage and he's going to be fast. I wonder... Wow, 20 speed. I'm curious what you think of him having low effect resistances. Does he ever just get provoke locked? Because that happened to me a bunch, and I built him with F-Res to prevent that. But I had to sacrifice speed to do so. I have a very similar build to yours, with the HP and defense, but I have like 215 or 217 speed, and then I have F-Res. I'm curious how that's working out for you without the ER, but a very good ML Crow. Okay, here's Mursa on Lifesteal. Looks like this is where all of your Abyss gear went. A lot of people use Mursa against cleave teams in RTA. She has some HP here, almost no defense, but you're really relying on her evasion, to survive on Dreamblade. So she probably works fine against cleave teams, I would imagine. Alright, Tempest Surin on Basket. I wish I had an extra basket so I could build her. I like this build though. This is a solid build. You have kept her defense and HP at almost the bare minimums. And then good speed, 218. Decent attack, good crit damage. I like this T-Surin build. Perfect subs. Let's see, 47, 54. Yep, over 60 points. Oh, I just saw that this was crit chance. That's insane. This went from decent to insane. Holy cow. Another awesome piece for her. You want to really avoid, if you can, hit point items and really abuse her passive. I think, if you do get defense, that's fine. Like, it doesn't hinder her. I think hit points are should really be avoided if possible. God, another really nice neck. You have so much good quality right gear. Crit damage, 8 speed, 17 crit chance, 17 attack. It hit effect resistance here. Looks like probably once, but it looks like it rolled really well. 34, 50. Yeah, almost 60 points. That's nuts. 14 speed. It looks like another flat attack ring. Interesting. Interesting. So yeah, you don't shy away from using this flat attack gear sometimes. Very good T-Surin. Yeah, I'm sure she performs well. Looks like Watcher Shuri is on World Boss gear. Okay, DJ Basar. Very interesting DJB. Let's see, how do you have a mullet? You've maxed out the healing. I'm curious how much this actually helps. I've used mine and his sustain is complete garbo. So I'm wondering if, do I need to mullet this? You have 1 imprint on him. 216 effect resistance, but you have the Shamadra Staff. So he's getting up to 230 effect resistance, 236 or so. So that's solid. 200 speed about, which is a good speed for him. 1500 defense. Low HP, but he's a hero with super low base defense like base health like Tamarin, so hard to, to really get his health up. You have summon to attack, which will help his healing, because his healing bizarrely scales off of his attack. So probably a good unit to counter debuffers. Really high effect resistance on that piece. 31 on the helm. That's impressive. 40 on the neck. Holy cow. Very solid ring. Doesn't really need the effectiveness, but whatever. And then, yeah, nice boot. 30% attack. So that's where a lot of his attack is coming from. Interesting. So you've actually built him with some attack. I'm curious how much this made a difference. I didn't really build mine with attack. I was just going for effect resistance mainly and survivability. Okay, Magic Scholar Doris. Counter set on Celestine. This could be toxic. Very tanky. Very high HP, which is, I think, smart, because if you're taking her into dark units, there's a good chance you're taking her into Remnant Violet, and you don't want her to get one shot. So she has the HP to, you know, easily take one of his S3s. Good defense as well. And actually not horrible speed for the fact that she's on counter set with, you know, these defensive subs. 94 ER. So not 150, but okay, it'll help. You're probably not taking her into debuff comps anyways. Interesting. Yeah, using some, like, this free gear is actually really good. The free ER gear. I'm so jealous of this chest. This chest is insane. Let's see. 28, 48, 58, 64. Perfect subs. Another flat HP neck. 12 speed. You know, 22 ER, 40 flat defense. So, you know, it's decent. I'm actually surprised by the amount of, like, flat right-sided gear I'm seeing on your account. Nice, good Doris. I think Darkness has said he uses Doris against, you know, characters like Arby, which are, you know, very prominent in the meta right now. Okay, Maid Chloe. You built her with a fair bit of ER on Shamadra's staff as well. Pretty fast, 203 speed, and quite tanky. I don't have Maid Chloe. I'm curious how often you get to use her now that we have ML Haste in the meta. Probably not often, but it looks like a pretty solid Maid Chloe build. You know, she looks tanky enough to survive for me, and she's decently fast as well, so can turn cycle. Okay, Ruel. Yeah, this is a nice Ruel. You have her on Touch of Rekos, which is a really strong artifact on her, especially when she's speedy like this at around 200 speed. So she can, you know, turn cycle and, you know, reset this so it gets used again when she gets hit. She is tanky here with, you know, over 1800 defense, good amount of HP. She's not going to get one shot by Rylet. And you have her at 150 effect resistance on immunity set. A very impressive Ruel. This is a great weapon. That's like 65 points for the subs that she cares about. Nuts. Very good. Another excellent... I guess this would be good on DJB too, wouldn't it? With the attack. Nice. Very good neck. Hard to find, you know, these Soul Weaver items with this amount of rolls here. Let's see, 27, 39, 49, 54. Very solid. Some flat defense. Lots of HP down here. This ring could actually probably be better. Let's see, 40. It's like 49. I mean, it is a right-sided piece, so 49 isn't horrible, and with some flat defense, it is over 50. Ruel, though, has such high base defense. I feel like items with flat defense are kind of a waste on her. So you could improve this ring here. Something with speed, maybe. Very, you know, good boots, though. Unfortunately, they rolled into attack. How tragic. These could have been epic. The perfect subs again. Okay, Apocalypse Ravi, running on Timeless Anchor to get, you know, dispels on her. Let's see, super slow, but extremely tanky, very high HP, almost 100% crit, and some crit damage. Ravi is a scary hero, and one that I think can just totally destroy the right types of teams. I guess now she's probably my most wanted ML5, so if anyone at Smilegate is listening, you could, arrange that, make that happen. Very nice ring here, lots of subs. Does she need? She doesn't need effectiveness though, right? I don't think so. No, yeah, she doesn't. But still good. Yeah, very good Ravi. Alright, Cartusia, probably just on World Boss gear, it looks like. Nothing is 90'd. Same deal with Commander Lorena. Okay, Dark Corvus. Impressive Dark Corvus, I like it. Really high HP, 32k. Decent defense. He's slow, but he'll take his turn eventually. And then he has 96 ER plus this Strat Gauntlet. So he's at 150 or so. You have him triple S. This is very similar to my Dark Corvus, and he does his job just fine, against the types of teams that you're going to take him into. You basically just want items like this with high defense. Or, I'm sorry, high HP. Yeah, another high HP item. HP. This one could obviously be better. I guess you're going for as much HP as possible here with this flat roll, which is fine. I feel like anything over 30k, he's gonna, one shot whatever you're trying to kill. The only thing I haven't been able to kill with over 30k HP was like a super tanky Ruel with an FCC shield, and she was on Proof of Valor, and that was in like GVG, and I literally just had to hit her like 20 or 30 times to reduce the effectiveness of Proof, and then I could one-shot her, and that was with a little bit less HP than this. So I think that these types of items are fine to get his HP up, especially if you don't have the gear elsewhere to do it. But otherwise, I would say like go for more speed and more like defense so that he can't get killed. This ring's okay too. Could be replaced. 20% defense is nice, and the ER I suppose. So 46 there, close to 50 with the flat. But you can't 90 that ring. Good boots though, holy cow, look at these boots. 41 ER, that's nuts. And HP percent from the Hell Raid. Yeah, what is that? 54, 60 points, plus a little more over 60? Yeah, pretty disgusting. We're just gonna move on. Jeez. Alright, Kitty Clarissa. Some of the stuff is 90'd. I'm curious, do you use her in... She has +1 molas. Maybe just Hall of Trials? I know she's popular for that. I finally pulled Kitty Clarissa. I like the little cat there, that's cute. Not super familiar with how to build her. I know that she wants both of these stats, which looks like you have, so it looks good to me. I'm curious what you use her for. Okay, Fallen Cecilia. I know about Fallen Cecilia. 26k HP, very good. 225 speed, also very good. Acceptable amount of defense with some effectiveness, so this is a very good FCC. Very similar to mine. I'm sure she performs very well for you. A little bit of crit. I think ideally I would want to start switching mine from effectiveness to more crit chance just for damage. I feel like the people I want to provoke, I can do it without effectiveness, so like really nice chest though. This Hell Raid one looks like yours rolled pretty well, but it went into effectiveness mostly. Great ring, 17 speed, nice. With health. You have a lot of health rings with speed on them. That's something my account is kind of missing, is good health rings with speed. And lots of effectiveness on this boot also. Yeah, so, I mean, the effectiveness is good here. It'll help you taunt Ruels and stuff occasionally, but it's still unreliable. Like, even with 80, like, you're still kind of at a 50-50. So it's great when it works, obviously. But I find that, like, she's really powerful on the units that she can consistently provoke lock. Like the DPS heroes and, like, other heroes like Flurry and stuff like that, Lilius. When they don't have effect resistance. And so I'd almost rather her, kind of like what you did with Fire Cecilia, where you give them a little bit of crit and crit damage instead of this effectiveness. And I think that it can help put pressure on the enemy team and be pretty good. So that's ideally where I'm going to be switching mine to. Shadow Rose, probably just filler gear for World Boss. Assassin Coley, looks like usable stats here, 264, that's pretty fast. Almost 3k attack, 250 crit damage. So I assume you can, draft her into the right types of teams. 15 speed neck, pretty nice. 14 speed ring, nice subs. Just crazy. Another boot with perfect subs. This one kind of tragically went into health here, unfortunately. This could have, rolled better, obviously, but good subs, though. So yeah, very usable Coley. I find that the fact that she doesn't have skill null or like a barrier makes her very awkward to use. So many heroes now have like a single AoE ability, and they can knock her out of stealth, and if it's done at the right time, she just, falls over and dies. So I try to draft her like with Fallen CC when I can to give her that skill null. It's tough though. I have trouble fitting her into my drafts, but every so often you get to use her and then she's awesome. And this is the type of gear that you want her on, when you have that opportunity. All right, BBK looks like filler gear probably. Yeah, it's all free gear. Oh, you probably used her before you got Kise, I imagine. All right, here's C-Dom. I would assume for like Arena is when you probably use her. I don't think you cleave in RTA too much. Let's see here. Actually very fast for C-Dom, 192, that's good. Decent crit damage. I think kind of low on the attack side, but she probably does her job. She'll still do a lot of damage. I would probably sacrifice some speed for attack, unless you're using her in RTA when you're trying to like outspeed Elena's and stuff. Then I would do that. But otherwise, I'm sure she works. Let's take a look at the gear. Yep, 3 really good stats for her. Super high crit damage and attack, and a little bit of crit chance. That's exactly what you want for C-Dom. This piece could be better. 10 speed is fine, 15 crit damage is fine. But I'd probably look for something with more crit damage. And, ignore this like health and defense and stuff. So probably a filler piece for you. Pretty good neck, 11 speed, and good subs down here, but not really for her. You want more offensive stuff. I imagine you're kind of putting her on spare gear if you just use her for Arena, rather than RTA. This is a good ring for her, though. The 29 crit damage on the attack, that's solid. And another boot that's very solid for her, with the attack and crit damage. Because you only need that 50 crit chance like you ever built, so that's good. Alright, Champ Z. Pretty similar to my Champ Z, actually. Yours isn't molded. I think I have mine molded into the S2 here. But very high defense, with some HP, enough speed to take some turns, and then, the crit chance and crit damage that you have. We have very similar Champ Zs. So I think he does his job against debuffers if you mola his S2. Ideally, I would like to plus 15 him when I get the molas, just to increase his damage. I wonder if you had... I think you might have had one that was molled and then you recalled. Did you get the molas back for that? You probably did. I think he's still good. People bag on him a lot. You could even get more speed with this, if you 90'd this boot. But I think he's still really good in RTA against the right teams. Alright, Spectre Tenebria. Here's an impressive Specteni. 200 speed, 1300 defense, almost 4k attack, 100% crit chance, which is a feat to do on S-Tenny because she has like no innate crit whatsoever, and then 258 crit damage. This is a really solid S-Tenny, and I think almost a clone of mine. We have like nearly identical stats here. I think you might have like a teeny bit more attack and I have a teeny bit more crit damage, but otherwise they're almost identical. Yeah, really nice, nice S-Tenny. Oh, interesting. You could do better on this helm. Yeah, I rolled a bunch of flat defense. And I don't think her base defense is that horrible. Maybe it is, I don't know. Mages usually have okay base defense. But yeah, you could do better on the helm for sure. That's what, 43 points plus whatever this stuff is. So there's room for improvement on that helm for sure. Another insane neck. Like, your DPS necks are just bonkers. I think you have like 7 or 8 necks that are like better than any of the necks I have. All right, so crit chance, tons of attack, good speed, good crit damage, solid neck. And crit chance neck on Spec Tenny for people watching is, I think, actually a smart choice. Her base crit's so low, it's easy to get this and then still have some gear with some crit on it because she has like no crit from anywhere else. And in addition to that, you're giving up crit damage here, and you want her to have high attack. I think you can kind of skimp on crit damage on her. You want her to have high attack because of her passive scales on attack and not crit damage. So I think that's a smart move. Very solid ring, lots of stats. He has some effectiveness on her too. And also nice boots. 55 points, 50, 60 points, just casual 60 points on, damage set, or damage stats on a speed boot. No biggie, speed main. Okay, ML Haste. Very solid build. You have him on Idol's Cheer. I know I kind of poo-pooed this when you asked me about it. I've thought about it. I think it could be pretty good. I'm going to try it on mine. I have him on it now. I haven't had a chance to draft him with this. But I think it could be good just because in long drawn out games, like even if they don't go after him, people have AoE damage and that's going to hit him and it's going to bump up, your DPS units. Otherwise, I think you have him built well. 200 speed is right where, I think he's suited for. 23k plus HP is good for his S3, which scales with that. You have a ton of defense on him, which I really like. I don't have nearly as much defense. Do you have a defense main ring? Is that how you're doing that? Nope. Just really high defense rolls. Okay, very impressive. Let's see, is there anything else to see here? It looks like we might be through the main heroes. Here's Alots. Spirit's Breath Alots, that's interesting. Plus 32. So he's a little slower, but he's a little tanky. And he's going to do some damage here also with the 100% crit chance. Do you ever do the meme Spirit's Breath comps where you like just boost up somebody over and over and over again? I've lost to it before. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the heroes. What else? We can quickly look, just out of curiosity. Is there anything in the waiting room? Sometimes people have surprises in here. Poor Elfelt. Any like awesome ML5s that aren't built yet? Doesn't look like it. You got Broman. Oh, there's a plus 10 Gunther. Yeah, looks like the rest is just fodder and stuff. Okay, nothing in there. Alright, well I think that's going to be it. Overall a very impressive account. I appreciate having the opportunity to go over it.
I'll see you later.
So yeah, please make sure to comment below if any of Darkness's builds particularly impressed you. Overall, just, awesome gear, great builds, really good job. Thanks for watching. Later.